In this video we are going to discuss 3 easy yeast substitutes for making bread. Yeast is an essential ingredient in many bread recipes, including dinner rolls, pizza dough, cinnamon rolls, and most loaf breads. It causes dough to rise, resulting in pillow-like soft bread. Here are the 3 best substitutes for yeast. 1. Baking powder. Baking powder causes baked goods to rise rapidly, but not to the same extent as yeast. You can replace yeast with baking powder at a 1-to-1 ratio. 2. Baking soda and acid. Baking soda and acid cause the same reaction as baking powder does, resulting in a quick rise. To use it in place of yeast, use 50% baking soda and 50% acid as a 1-to-1 replacement. 3. Sourdough starter. Growing a sourdough starter takes a minimum of 5 days, but once you have one, it's easy to maintain and use. Here's what you'll need. At least 2½ cups, 600 grams, of all-purpose flour. At least 2½ cups, 600 milliliters, of water. Here are the steps to make your own sourdough starter. Day 1. Combine 1/2 cup, 120 grams, of flour and 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters, of water in a large glass container and cover loosely with plastic wrap or a clean kitchen towel. Leave out at room temperature. Day 2. Feed the starter with 1/2 cup, 120 grams, of flour and 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters, of water and combine well. Cover loosely and leave at room temperature. By the end of day 2, you should see bubbles forming, which means the yeast is growing and fermenting the flour. Day 3. Repeat the steps in day 2. The mixture should smell yeasty and have a good amount of bubbles. Day 4. Repeat the steps in day 2. You should notice more bubbles, a stronger and more sour smell, and that it's growing in size. Day 5. Repeat the steps in day 2. Your sourdough starter should smell yeasty and have many bubbles. It's now ready to use. To maintain your sourdough starter beyond day 5, store it in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Use or discard half of it every week, and feed it with another 1/2 cup, 120 grams, of flour and 1/2 cup, 120 milliliters, of water. Sourdough starter with any contamination of fuzzy, white, or colored mold should be discarded. Given that it takes a minimum of 5 days to produce a sourdough starter, this yeast substitute is best if you already have a sourdough starter on hand, or if you can wait 5 days before baking. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe to get updates on new videos.